Greetings everyone, wherever you are, or wherever you are watching. I remain your humble servant, Fire Chief Agility. Today, I want to use this opportunity again just to enlighten us more on the issue that borders on fire reduction and the fire prevention. From the topic of today, I want to talk more on fire extinguisher. On fire extinguisher. That's what I want to talk about today. If you are there, please join us in this discussion and in this fire safety sensitization, so that we can go through it and learn more. What I actually want to talk about is this. This is fire extinguisher. This is fire extinguisher. That's exactly what I want to talk about. First of all, one will ask, what do we even need fire extinguisher? What do we want to learn about it? A lot we need to learn. But first of all, we need to know what fire extinguisher is before we can talk about the uses and its functionalities. So, talking about fire extinguisher, I always define this as the first aid firefighting equipment which one or anybody can use to extinguish fire at its incipient stage or at the early stage of the fire. I said first aid firefighting equipment, that is what it is. You see, fire extinguisher, we know, if you can understand what I mean by first aid firefighting equipment properly, you look at the first aid attached to it. Firstly, what is first aid? First aid is that which is applied to an injured person before taking him or her to the hospital. It's just the first treatment we apply to any injured person before taking the person to hospital for proper medication and proper treatment. The same thing is applicable to fire extinguisher. That is why it's referred as first aid firefighting equipment. When the fire is just starting, at that early stage, then you can be able to use the fire extinguisher to extinguish the fire. But if the fire has gotten out of hand, please don't use your fire extinguisher, because you are wasting the fire extinguisher. And that is what I tag waste of resources. When you apply fire extinguisher when the fire is already off, or probably, sorry, when the fire has gotten out of hand, then that is a mistake. It's not proper. That's why sometimes during fire fighting or during fire outbreak, and when the fire has already gotten out of hand, you see people, they will carry fire extinguisher, people shouting, bring fire extinguisher. And the next thing is, they will carry the fire extinguisher and throw it with the cylinder and throw it inside the fire. When you ask them, they'll say, because they think that this fire extinguisher, when you throw it inside the fire, it will charge it and it will explode and extinguish the fire automatically. No, that is not true. And it's not proper. The important thing is getting your fire extinguisher handy at that earlier stage and apply it on the fire. Immediately is going to stop the fire. But if you allow the fire to get out of hand, applying that fire extinguisher is just wasting the fire extinguisher. And it will not do anything at that time. So I want to let us know that the use of fire extinguisher determines the level of fire at which you are applying the fire extinguisher. All right. One of the features of fire extinguisher is just one. It is flexible. It is handy. You can use it, can carry it around places. It's not that heavy that you can't carry it. Very light, very small. So at least you can be able to carry it and run as fast as you can to extinguish any fire. Now, talking about fire extinguisher more, we need to know there are a lot of types of fire extinguishers, a lot. But there are basic ones we need to know, which we can always use to fight the fire or extinguish the fire at its earlier stage. And one of it is water gas fire extinguisher. Water gas fire extinguisher. 2 is DCP, that's dry chemical powder fire extinguisher, DCP. Another one is CO2 fire extinguisher, carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. Another one is chemical foam extinguisher. Chemical foam and fire extinguisher. These 4 basic ones are what we are looking at. There are a lot of them, many, but these are the ones we use in our day-to-day activities when fire bursts out. Those are the ones we can easily keep in our houses, in our residential homes, offices, churches, market, mosque, factories, industries. You can always have them. They are in different sizes. We have this small one for DCP. This is 1 kg. 1 kg DCP fire extinguisher. We have 2 kg of it. We have 6 kg of it. We have 9 kg of it. We have 25 kg of it. And we have 50 kg of it. In this case, the 25 kg and the 50 kg are trolleys. They have tire. You can roll them, but you can't just carry them. But as for 1 kg, 2 kg, 6 kg, 9 kg, you you can easily carry them and run as fast as you can to extinguish any fire you noticed anywhere. That is for DCP. For CO2, we have some sizes also. We have the 2 kg, we have the 3 kg, we have the 5 kg. We have also the 9 kg. And this 9 kg is now trolley. You can push it around and roll it. But these other ones, you can lift them and run as fast as you can to extinguish any fire you noticed anywhere. Then that of water equally has sizes, but the sizes, you have 6 kg, you have 9 kg. The same thing applicable to the chemical foam. The chemical foam fire extinguisher also has sizes. We have 6 kg, we have 9 kg. We have also 50 kg of it. Now we've known the types and sizes of fire extinguisher. Then the best thing we need to know again, how to use this fire extinguisher, how to apply it when there is fire outbreak. Because it's not just enough for you to have fire extinguisher in your office, at home, in the church, in the market, in the mosque, in offices. But it's ideal for you to know how to use it. That's the most important thing. Now the application is very simple. It's a very simple one. The application of fire extinguisher, that's the use, how to use the fire extinguisher. Always remember the word pass. P-A-S-S. Pass. P-A-S-S. Pass. The first P stands for pull. Pull. What are you pulling? When it comes to fire extinguisher, we pull. The first P is pull. You are pulling what? The safety pin of the fire extinguisher. Once you remove the safety pin, it's free. You can now do the rest. The second one is aim. When you must have pulled the safety pin, then you aim at the base of the fire, not above the fire or just on the fire, at the base of the fire. Make sure the nozzle is pointing direct to the base of that fire. Then the third one is S, squeeze. What are you squeezing? You are squeezing the handle of the fire extinguisher. You squeeze. When you squeeze it, you are now applying it properly and with the direction of the nozzle to the base of the fire, then it will move. The content will be released and it will go direct to the fire to extinguish it. And the fire will automatically stop. Then the last one, which is S, sweep. As you are releasing that to the fire, you don't need to keep it at a place. You have to move it around. That is the sweeping. The same way we sweep. You don't sweep at one place, you spray it, so that it will be able to get to other areas where there is fire. That is sweep. So the application of using fire extinguisher is called pass. It's not just on this dry chemical powder fire extinguisher. It is also applied in other fire extinguishers. So we just talked about pass. P-A-S-S. Pass. That's the application. Now, You've known how to apply this, but you need to put it in practice. I need to do that. Remember it always, so that you'll never forget it. But having known how to use the fire extinguisher, how to apply it on a fire, it's time to know how these fire extinguishers, how you know that they are functional. How to know that they are functional. Especially those fire extinguishers that have this thing. Look at it, it looks like a clock. It's called pressurized gauge. Pressurized gauge. That is what it is called. Now, what do you expect to see here? Look at it very well. If you look at it, you'll see the features of that pressurized gauge. It has clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. And inside it will have a yellow pointer and also a green portion. So, when you look at this, when it goes clockwise direction, when it goes anti-clockwise direction, it is saying recharge, recharge, recharge. And what can cause this or make it to say recharge? It's either it has expired or it is having leakage somewhere which made the content to leak. So all you need to know at this point, once you notice it, the yellow pointer will now cross and go anti-clockwise direction and get to 0 or outside the green portion. But whenever you look at it and find out that the yellow pointer is still at that green portion, it is still in order. Thank you, Mary George Onuma. I can see you. Well done. You see, moving forward, looking at this fire extinguisher, when it goes clockwise direction and pass the green portion. Thank you, Catherine. Well done. You now know it will write at that fire extinguisher, overcharge, overcharge, overcharge. See, I want you to note this. Overcharge does not mean that it's not okay. It's functional. But it's just under any unfavorable condition, it can explode. The explosion here doesn't mean the cylinder will burst. No, it can pull the head of this. It can pull the head of this fire extinguisher where the pressurized gauge and the handle and the nozzle and the safety pin is. It can pull it and it can injure anybody. So you now keep it well, it's functional, or you can give it back to any vendor that's recharged it to reduce it. So but the most important thing is to find out the yellow pointer must be in the green portion for you to know that it's okay. Now also, those of us that have vehicle or cars, you have your fire extinguisher inside there. But when you are driving and notice that the road safety officers are on the way, you change direction immediately. Why are you changing direction? Because one, you don't know whether the fire extinguisher you have inside your car is functional or not. You don't know if the green push, the yellow pointer has gone anti-clockwise direction and is saying recharge. That is to say the fire extinguisher is not functional. So you want to beat the road safety officers, then you divert your direction. You divert the route. You don't need to run away from them anymore, except if there's another reason why you want to run away. If you can be able to check your fire extinguisher and know that the yellow pointer is always at the center of that green portion, then you are good to go. You can't run away from them. And it's very important for you to note that you are not doing this for the road safety officers, you are doing it for your safety and the safety of your car in case if it starts burning. That is it for fire extinguisher. So, always know how to check on these fire extinguishers. If you are in doubt, you can ask professionals or experts or those who are experts in this business. So, moving ahead, the fire extinguisher, we've already talked about some areas, how you know how to use it, how you know its functionality. Now, another thing we need to talk about in this fire extinguisher, where can you use the fire extinguisher? Where and where can you use it? It's very important for us to know this. You see, anywhere you see the fire extinguisher, you apply it once there is fire outbreak. We need to know it. And that will lead us to the classes of fire. We have classes of fire. 5 classes of fire is what we have. Class A fire, Class B fire, Class C fire, Class D fire, and Class K. Please don't expect me to say Class E. No. We don't have Class E. I'll still talk about it. But we have Class A. It's because we don't have Class E, it was jumped towards Class K. Class A are regarded as free burning materials. Free burning materials. But what are these free burning materials? What are those things we know as free burning materials? Examples of free burning, there are those materials that can easily burn. And what are they? At this point, we'll talk about clothes. We'll talk about paper. We'll talk about woods. We'll talk about rubber. Grasses. I mean dried grasses. These are free burning materials. What type of fire extinguisher can you use to fight it or to extinguish it? You can only use DCP fire extinguisher or water gas fire extinguisher. So water extinguishes these free burning materials easily, or use the DCP fire extinguisher, dry chemical powder. Now, Class B fire are tied as flammable liquids. Flammable liquids. When you talk about flammable liquids, those liquids that are flammable can catch fire and burn. And the examples are petrol, PMS, kerosene, diesel, Eze-Oku, and also candle wax. These are under flammable liquids, Class B fire. What kind of fire extinguisher can we use comfortably to extinguish this? The chemical foam fire extinguisher is what we use. Or you can as well use dry chemical powder, which is DCP. Another one is Class C fire, which is known as liquefied gases. Liquefied gases. and liquefied gases, we know them, especially the cooking gas, liquefied natural gas, LNG, the one we use, the CNG, compressed natural gas. We talk about the methane. These are under the classifier, which are regarded as liquefied gases. And what kind of fire extinguisher can you use to extinguish this? You can use CO2 and also DCP, dry chemical powder. Those are the ones you can easily use. Class D fire, the number 4, are metallic products. Metallic products. These metallic products are metals. Metals. Sorry. Metals. What are the metals? We know them. The aluminum, copper, silver. There are many metals. They can burn, and through expansion, when it must have been heated, it can burn and cause fire outbreak. That is what physics call linear expansivity. Linear expansivity. I will still talk about a little on this issue when people will always say, when a vehicle is burning, all the doors will jam. Well, that is not true. That is not true. But we'll talk about it later. So when I'm talking about the expansion of metals, linear expansivity, what kind of fire extinguisher can you use to do this? You can use CO2 for cooling. Sorry, you can use water gas for cooling. You can as well use DCP as well to control the fire, extinguish it. Are you noticing something about DCP in what I'm saying? DCP, the dry chemical powder. I'll still come to that. DCP is regarded as general purpose firefighting extinguisher. General purpose, all weather. You can use it to fight any classes of the fire, classes of fire. Be it class A, class B, class C, class D, and class K. You can use it to extinguish it. But you can't use other ones to fight any fire at all. They have specific ones you can use. Then another thing is, class K are fatty oil. The oil we use in the kitchen, the cooking oil, the groundnut oil, they are under this class of fire. So what kind of fire extinguisher can you use at this point? Remember, the oil there seems to look like that of class B. So you can as well use the same fire extinguisher to extinguish that of that. Remember, DCP as well. Now, a lot of people always say we have class E, which is electrical fires. Not really. Electrical fire once there's this electrical fire, it contains other ones. That is why if there's fire break anywhere, the first thing you do is to go to the control switch and do what? To control it, to off it. Any other thing the fire has already touched at that moment will turn to any of the classes of fire. It can be class A, it can be class B, depending on what is burning. That is why specifically we don't have class A, because a lot of things you can have metal in a particular thing that is burning, and once you go to the control switch and control it, then it will turn to any of the classes, either class A or class D. Now, where do you place these fire extinguishers? Where do you place them? Assuming you are driving your car, or you have your car, your vehicle, where do you place the fire extinguisher? Assuming you are in the house, in your house, in the office, where do you place the fire extinguisher? In the factory, where do you place the fire extinguisher? These are very important. We must know this. To start with, the vehicle, your cars. Some people will put the fire extinguisher inside the boot. That is wrong. It's not supposed to be inside the boot. What you don't understand? Okay, you say, I don't understand the fire extinguisher stuff. Please, Judge, can you type and tell me what you don't understand there so that I can elaborate more on that? Where are you still having a sort of confusion? Let me address it. So as I'm waiting for you to type it, let me move on. So your fire extinguisher is not supposed to be inside the boot, the trunk. If it is there, assuming there's fire outbreak, remember, in all our cars, if fire wants to start, it starts at the engine. Okay, you don't understand how to operate it. I'll come back there. I'll do justice to that. Okay. Thank you, Mary George Onuma. I will do justice to that. So, when there's fire starts at the engine, remember you need to open the bonnet so that you'll be able to fight it. Now tell me, if there's fire in the engine and you open your door, probably you off the ignition, you open your door, then you start going back again to the trunk or the boot to get what? The fire extinguisher. Fire doesn't wait for anybody. Fire doesn't wait for anybody. By the time you go there to get the fire extinguisher, the fire must have increased and it will get out of hand. Thank you, Mary George. I will address that issue of how to operate it. Okay, I will go back there. Just stay tuned. Now, where are you supposed to keep the fire extinguisher? You're supposed to keep the fire extinguisher under your seat, where it will be comfortable for you and easier for you to what? Locate it and use it at any time. Or at the side of the door, you can now hang it there, so that it will be easy for you to lay your hands when there is what? Fire incident. And I want to tell you one thing you should know. Anytime you notice that there is fire in the ignition, in the engine, please, as soon as you are offing the ignition, please remember to open the bonnet from inside. Remember, most of them you open it from inside to make it easier. If you don't do that, it will be very difficult for anybody to do what? To open the bonnet to fight that fire. That is when people will be throwing sand, throwing water, throwing fire extinguishers without it getting to the base of the fire. And the fire will be an increase. Before you know it, it will burn down the vehicle. So please stop putting your fire extinguisher in that truck or the boot place. Now in your house, where do you place the fire extinguisher? One, if you have security posts, there must be one there. If you have a powerhouse, the generator house, there should be one there. You have kitchen, of course you must have a kitchen. There must be one there. But I will always advise people, please, don't put DCP there. It's always better to have CO2 in your kitchen. Do you know why? The reason is, if there's a fire incident, what do? You operate your fire extinguisher. If DCP is there, let me tell you, the next thing is, remember, it's dry chemical powder, not just ordinary powder. It's going to contaminate the food in the kitchen. But if it is CO2, as you are applying it, it will evaporate to diffuse through the window. So in this case, it will not contaminate the food in the kitchen. That is assuming there is just a small fire. Because once you apply DCP, the whole of the kitchen will turn to white. The chemical powder will surround the whole place. Even you will turn to white as well for operating it. So I always advise people to have CO2 in the kitchen. It's not that you can't use DCP in the kitchen, but I'm trying to consider the after effects in the food, food safety. Also, in your sitting room, you have to hang one there. Then entrance of your house, you need to hang another one there. It's very important. It's very important. Mary George. Please, sir, I need to see the types of fire extinguishers to understand better. Honestly, I may not be able to show you all the types of fire extinguishers now. But I want to promise you one thing. After this live, I'll be able to post the fire extinguishers in my wall so that you'll be able to see it. But the how to operate them are the same. They are the same. Remember what I said on how to operate it before? I said you must know this called PASS, P-A-S-S, capital P-A-S-S. If you look at the parts of fire extinguisher, the parts of fire extinguisher are the head, which contain this handle, safety pin. This is a pressurized gauge. This is nozzle. Sometimes you see it is longer than this, but this is how you see the one in 1 kg. But other ones, you notice they are longer. So the cylinder is also there, and the content. Now the operation which you needed, PASS, P-A-S-S, PASS. First of all, the first P is pull. It means pull. What are you pulling? You are pulling the safety pin to allow you. Remember, look at this here. The safety pin is guided here so that you cannot easily pierce it. So it's called the safety pin. It protects the handle from people to pierce it anyhow. Now, pull. You pull, that is removing of the safety pin. That is pull. A, which is aim. What are you aiming? You now aim the fire extinguisher, holding it properly, and aim towards the base of the fire. You must target get the base of the fire for you to extinguish it. Not being at a distance. Thank you, Olayemi. Not being at a distance and do what? Extinguishing, applying the fire extinguisher. It will not get to the base of the fire. So when you remove the safety pin, which is pull, then you target, which is what? The aiming of the base of the fire, where the fire started. That is the source of that fire. Then the next one is squeeze. You now squeeze because the safety pin is no longer there. You now squeeze the handle. As you're squeezing the handle, then the content of the fire extinguisher will move and it will go direct to the base of that fire and the fire will be off. Then the last one, which is S, sweep. You don't just place only there. As you're operating, try to move it this way. That is what is called sweeping. Sweep. So pull, aim, squeeze and sweep. Pull, aim, squeeze and sweep. That is the operation of fire extinguisher. I hope you get it now. Mary George. Thank you. Moving forward, I talked about the places where you are going to hang your fire extinguisher. Now, how do you service the fire extinguisher? Officially, every fire extinguisher is supposed to be serviced every 6 months. 6 months. Oh, I'm happy you understand it now. Thank you, Mary George. Mary George, you are participating so much in this. After this, I owe you 3 gig of any network of your choice. At least you are asking questions, and that is to say you are participating properly. So I owe you 3 gig of your any choice of your network. So after this, just inbox me your phone number and the choice of network. Thank you. Moving forward. 6 months. Although some people ask me, Oga Agility, must it be 6 months? Things are very hard now. How can we be recharging this or servicing it every 6 months? Your safety is important here. You don't manage any hazard. Your safety is important. Thank you too. So all you need to do is go to any experts or take it to the nearest fire service station and they will recharge it, service it. That is what you need to do. Especially when you notice that it has already gone anti-clockwise direction. That is to say, it's saying recharge me, recharge me, recharge me. I'm no longer functional. Recharge me. That is what it was singing until you listen to that voice. Although some fire extinguishers may even last as up to 1 year, but no guarantee. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Sometimes people will look at the fire extinguisher, the pressurized gauge, and they will say, yes. Yes, Oga Agility said that the yellow pointer must always be in the green portion. And they will use allow the fire extinguisher there for 3 years. And that yellow pointer will still be at that green portion. Please, your own, no, that is not what I'm teaching you. At this point, do you know what will happen? That pointer you see there is no longer functional. It it remained there because the content, which is the powder inside the fire extinguisher, has caked. It has congealed. It has blocked. So it cannot move. It can only move again if you go and service it and recharge it. You know what will happen to you? If there's any fire incident anywhere and you are jumping up, rejoicing that you have fire extinguisher, you don't have anything, no. Once you take the fire extinguisher and apply it anywhere, it will be looking at you, it will not work. It will not. It will not work. So don't say that this is what I taught you. That is not it. It's not what I teach you. I say every 6 months. Sometimes it may even be 1 year, but it's under probability. It's not guaranteed. The functionality is not guaranteed. So try as much as you can to service it every 6 months. It's for your own good. It's for your own good. We know there may not be fire break 6 months, 1 year, but the day it will come, you may not know what to do. And the fire extinguisher may be looking at you because it's no longer functional. So always do the needful because your safety lies in your hands. That reminds me, fire extinguisher is very important in every home, everywhere. If you see where fire extinguisher works miracle, you shout, you respect fire extinguisher. That small container, it will automatically stop the fire. But that is the one of the easiest firefighting equipment you can have. That is fire extinguisher. The first aid firefighting equipment, that is fire extinguisher. You need it. You need it. Somebody will build a house that worth millions of money, depending on your currency. But what happened? You cannot buy one simple fire extinguisher to put in your house. Let it be 2, let it be 3, let it be 4. How much? How much is it? A small amount of money that you give it away to people. You can use it and buy to secure your home. To secure your home. Houses will get burnt. The security men will be there looking at it. They can't do anything because they don't have anything to fight the fire with at its early stage. And they will be running up and down looking for help. And incidentally, you may not even have fire service emergency number to call. Then the fire will get out of hand and they will burn down everything. Then you start to look for somebody to blame, whether he came in time or he didn't come. You do the needful. Get it. It doesn't cost much. Those people that drink beer. How much is one bottle of beer now? How much is one bottle of beer? It is sold probably at 600, depending the bottle of beer. How many do you have there? 12 in a crate. Do you know how much it is? 6 times 12. 600 times 12. How much is it? 7,000 something. That you cannot use. But you use it to you drink. Sometimes you go to a hotel and drink one bottle of beer that will cost you 1,000, 1,005, and you buy it for friends. You cannot even use the same money to buy fire extinguisher. It's not in your house, and what about it? Well, if it happens, you call agility now. Probably I may come. I'll send my men to come. Please, I don't want to send my men to your house. I don't want to send my men to your office. I don't want to send my men to your church, to your mosque, to your factory. Do the needful and get it done. You need the fire extinguishers. You are not even my friend if you don't have them. Because you are not doing what you're supposed to. So how can you be my friend? You need me to be running around up after all. You say, is it not your work? Is it not your duty to go and extinguish the fire as a firefighter? Or you don't want me to rest, Abby? Please go and buy your fire extinguisher. Look for anywhere and buy it. Buy it and keep. Oh, don't say I didn't warn you. This is August, the month of August. By next month, we will enter September, and that is what? Onwamba. And this coming months till December to January, coming and February are the months of fire outbreak. Why is it even month of fire outbreak? Must it be like that? Must it be like that? So, why it is the month of fire outbreak? Because we don't care. We don't care. Why even what do I need the fire extinguisher for? Please, sir, can we know the price of fire extinguishers? Catherine. Well, it depends. And I must tell you, the prices varies from vendors. But fire extinguishers, you must get fire extinguishers that is as low as 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, depending, that you can use in your house. The one that you use in the car, 1 kg, is just small amount of money. The highest amount you can buy it is about 3,000, highest. Some places you can get it 2,000. Is this something you cannot buy? 1 kg. 1 kg, 1 kg. So please, you have the money. Don't say you don't have money. Why are you saying you don't have money? Why? How much do you spend every day? How much do you spend in a week? Do you calculate them? How much do you spend in a month? Do you calculate them that you can't buy one fire extinguisher? One bigger fire extinguisher, maybe 6 kg at least. At least. So, please, do that. Do that. Go and buy your fire extinguisher. Stop looking at my mouth. Go and buy your fire extinguisher. You need it for your safety, to protect your properties and that of your neighbor. I am using this opportunity again to challenge all the landlords anywhere. Landlords, I pity you now. I pity all of you, wherever you are. And you allow tenants to be in your house without even having one fire extinguisher in their flat. Why? Who does that? Let me tell you, if I am landlord, let me tell you, I'm serious about this. If I'm landlord, one of the requisite things you have before you park into my house, you must show me your fire extinguisher. Must. It's not mine. It's yours. It's for your good. All you have to do is what? Buy the fire extinguisher, keep it in your flat. If there's anything, after all, I am the landlord. The structure that is going to burn is my house. And when it gets burnt, then you start begging. And you don't know what happened. You don't know how it happened. Get it, so that if there's anything, you can be able to use it at the earliest stage and extinguish the fire. So, landlords, you are not out of this. Buy your own and keep. Nobody will take that one away. Keep it, is there. It will remain in your compound. But this one for the tenants, if they are parking in, they have to show you that. Not just one or one. They can buy two, but at least let there be one for every tenant. And once that is done, when they are packing out, they'll still go with it. It's theirs. So if you can be able to, if landlords can be able to do this, let me tell you, every tenant must have fire extinguisher anywhere. Yeah, Mary George, okay, you say I have one. Hope to buy two more. That's good. Kudos. It's good. It's good. We spend money unnecessarily, but the important things will not use our money to buy them. If you like, if you don't have money, use the same strategy, 2K system, and you get 2K from people, and you buy fire extinguisher now. That is 2K formula for you. By the time you get 2K from here, get 2K from here, get 2K from here, you'll be able to buy one big fire extinguisher. But that is only if you have get the 2K, you will not use it for a different thing. Not when you get the 2K, you use it for different thing. Make sure you are looking for the 2K for you to utilize it and buy something reasonable, which is fire extinguisher, and keep in your house. So that is that. Fire extinguisher. So I really want to touch something, though it's not really fire extinguisher, but the issue of car. When I was talking about Class D fire, which is metallic product, I mentioned the expansion of metals, which is linear expansivity. What I really want to talk about there in our vehicles, people will say that once there is fire break in a vehicle, all the doors will jam. Is it true? Is it? No, it's not true. Except if it is electrical motor or electrical car, then probably one of the sensors will do that. But if it's our day-to-day vehicle, will know. Why is it? How can it jam? What is jamming there? What? Nothing is jamming. What will make you not to be able to open those doors because you are in a state of confusion? When there's fire break, it moves with state of confusion. Anybody that is around there will never know what he or she is doing. That is why if you are in a room, that room you normally enter, you go in and go out. If there's fire break there, you will never remember where even the door is again because of what? State of confusion. So let me tell you this. I remember in our physics, we were taught linear expansivity, the expansion of metals. That is why when metals get heated so much, it will expand. I'm not saying that the doors will not expand. Let me tell you, there's no way fire will start immediately and the metal, which is the door, will expand to jam. For how many minutes? How can a metal expand within 5 minutes? With that little fire that just started in the bonnet. It's state of confusion. State of confusion, not expansion of metal or the door jammed. Because you'll be running around, you wouldn't know where the door is again, or where the handle to open the door. That is what is happening to you, and you say the door is jamming. No, it's not. You understand now? You understand it clearly now? So all you need to do when there's fire in a vehicle, you need to compose yourself. You need to relax. As you are relaxing, you are doing the proper thing. Say as well, oh no, fire extinguisher is very important. Is there a team set aside in your station responsible for supervision of fire extinguishers in the market and other public places? And also, is there any punishment for defaulters? Yes. In fact, as it stands now, Anambra State Fire Service has started distributing their letters of inspection to all the places. We'll continue that till the dry season. We are moving around to check these things. Of course, defaulters, we don't need to punish anybody. What will punish anybody will come, and that is fire. We can only suggest to you on what you do. We can only tell you what to do, give you recommendations on what to do, how you get your fire extinguishers, how you keep them, but who cannot punish you? Nobody will punish you. We will advise you. It's left for you to implement it. If you don't implement, that is your own cup of tea, because the thing that will punish you will come, and that is fire break the day it will come. Maybe you will start calling agility to come with your men. Please come with your men. No, come with your men. No, fire is burning. But you've not done what you're supposed to do. That simple safety rules, you decided not to adhere to it. So we can always do our own part by letting you know what you're supposed to do, the fire extinguishers you're supposed to have, the sizes you're supposed to have, but it's left for you to implement it. It's more important to you than to me. If I secure my place and you refuse to secure your place, when the fire comes, nobody will tell you what will happen to you. Another thing I want to talk about briefly before I'll go for today, a little digression. If fire will start in a vehicle, normally it starts from the engine side. So, if you start from the engine side, what do you do? Now, I'm talking about extinguishing medium now, not just fire extinguisher. Some time ago, I think last year, last 2 years, we saw a train that was burning, and people were running around looking for green leaves to extinguish the fire. Yes! You can use green leaves, it's good. But is it what you're supposed to use at that point in time? What you're supposed to use at that point in time is fire extinguisher, and to extinguish the fire. It will extinguish it. But let's understand something. When there's fire outbreak at the engine side, people will start running around. They will start saying, bring Omo, bring detergent, bring clean, bring sunlight. They'll start mentioning all the names that are attached to detergent. Mix it with water, bring water so that you pour it inside the engine so that the fire will stop. Let me tell you, you're just deceiving yourself. You're deceiving yourself. That water and whatever detergent you are mixing doesn't have any effect on that fire. It's only by the grace of God that water and that mixture will stop the fire. That is only if the fire is still burning in class A material, which are free burning material, maybe something like the wire. Once you apply that water, it's not even the detergent that is stopping it. It's just the water alone, because if you remember the class A fire and the extinguishing medium, I said water gas. It's just the water, not the detergent. Now, let me tell you one thing. Do you remember this? Have you ever noticed this? That sometimes you apply this water with your detergent inside the bonnet, inside the engine, when you must have opened the bonnet. What will happen? You see a splash of fire. You run away. What do you think that happened? Because it's not just the class A fire. This time around, the fire has entered the class B, where the petrol is. So you can't use just water. In other words, practical experience. If you get a container and add water inside it, or probably a container that contains petrol or kerosene or diesel, once you add water into, what do you see? The petrol or that petroleum product will now float. it will be on top of the water. Is it not? It's true. Chemistry, it says the petrol is less dense than the water. That is to say, it's lighter than the water. That is why it has to float. That is why when you apply that your water and your detergent inside the engine, you see a splash. Because it will go there, the water will go down, and it will spring up the fire with the petrol. And you see a splash, everybody will run. So, what you can only use to fight such fire is a fire extinguisher. That DCP fire extinguisher that is inside your vehicle. That is what you use. Another thing you can use is dry sand, the dry sand, if you can get it. I didn't say wet, dry sand. Another thing you can use, green leaves, not dry, not dry leaves. That is what you can use to fight such fire in the vehicle, in the engine. So stop using or wasting people's detergent. A poor woman that is selling, there's fire in a vehicle. All of you will now turn to that shop to carry all the detergent you see there. If you see Omo, you carry. You see Clean, you carry. You see Sunlight, you carry. You see any detergent you see, they carry it and put inside water. For what now? For what? You are wasting those things. You are wasting it. It's not it that will stop the fire. If ordinary water can stop it, that's the only time. If it is in burning in the class A, maybe the wire in that vehicle. But if it has entered where the petrol is, the carburetor and so on, you can use that water, or even we've added 1 million detergent. That was why some years back at Nnewi, a house was burning, and people always think fire service carry water, they add detergent in there. That is why you see those foaming particles. It's not detergent. So that time at Nnewi, some people, a house was burning. Before the arrival of fire service, they brought water supply tanker, and they were rushing all over, carrying people's detergent, different types, Omo, Clean, Sunlight, and just mention them. And they were busy putting it inside the tank, inside the tanker, so that they will use it to fight fire. My brother, waste of resources. It's not it. I want to tell you, every residential home is made of free burning materials. So ordinary water can fight it, but we use the pressure in the fire truck, stops it better and faster, more than using bucket system. So stop wasting your detergent of any type. It's not ideal. So I think I'm going to stay off for now. I'll go to come back later, next time, so that we'll continue to enjoy this. I'll continue to give it to you. I know you like it now. All you need to do, this sensitization is not just for you alone. You need to make people to know it. How do you make people to share this? Share it in your wall. People will now see it and read it and listen to it. It's not just meant for you alone. Not when after watching it you relax it there. Share it in your wall. Let people also do what? Watch the video and listen. Thank you, Catherine, for participating in this. I have 1.5 gig of your choice of network. Thank you. Remember what I always say. Fire prevention and fire safety management is everybody's business. And your safety lies in your hands. Fire kills. but you can prevent it. May God continue to bless and protect all of us. See you next time. Thank you and bye for now.